Hello, fellow 885 MIT students. I wanted to go ahead and discuss my video blog 6, my interview with a local LSTC um, person in our school. And so, first of all, I really enjoyed having an interview with Jennifer, and I want to introduce her and kind of give you a little bit of background about her and tell you what she does. So Jennifer Mims is a local LSTC contact person at our school. I work at Gwynn Oaks Elementary, and basically the LSTC stands for Local Schools Technology Coordinator. So I asked her a few questions. I didn't want to take up too much of her time, but I did want to find out a little bit more about her, what she does, and some of the challenges she has with technology and education, and how can she overcome some of those things. So what was her position? So I did interview her and I took audio, but I translated that audio into some slides and some questions. So she's been at our school for the last 4 years as the local school technology coordinator, and prior to that, she was in education as a teacher. So I asked her why did she choose to become the LSTC at our school, which is the acronym for Local School Technology Coordinator, and she really enjoyed technology and using technology, and she wanted to try that. Now, I asked her what her responsibilities were and duties as a LSTC within our Gwynn Oaks Elementary School, which is K through 5. And the biggest thing she said was the technology coach. She said, I'm a coach. I'm trying to coach my teachers and my students become more technology literate. Help with specials teaching, and specials are simply um, individual classes that students go during an allotted time during our school. So they might have a math specials, a science specials, and we also have technology specials along with PE and some others. So she helps teach those specials. She maintains the school website. She does online testing. And she also assists teachers, excuse me, with technology related questions to software. She doesn't do the hardware. There is another individual that does that. So she's strictly allocated to software. However, she does help with some hardware related issues with the teachers. They have a question regarding something hardware, like maybe a ladybug, which is like a document camera. She'll assist with that. There are some other minor duties, but these are the main ones that she has on a day-to-day basis. Now, one of my main questions that I wanted to find out are her challenges working with technology in an elementary school. What were the biggest challenges she faced? And these were some of the basically the bullet points that she touched on. And I'll briefly go down and touch base on all of them. Teachers' inability to give up their safe or normal, um, their normalcy of previous years. And what she meant by that is teachers were so set in their ways of lesson plans for previous years, they didn't want to deviate from that. If they did a certain thing last year, that's what they did this year. They didn't really want to deviate or add new technology in there. They didn't want to change their lesson plans per se. They wanted to keep things status quo. And that can become stagnant, and there's an issue with that. Number two, lack of desire or want to learn something new. Some teachers, and I have personally seen this, they want to do what they know, and that's it. They do not want to rock the boat. They don't want to change it up. They don't want to do anything that might change how they delivered content in previous years. They want to keep things as smooth as possible for them. And that goes back to the first bullet point, where inability to give up safe or normal, the normalcy of previous years. The third bullet point was teachers don't want to add something else to their workload. As a teacher, I can understand we're all very busy. We all have a lot of things to do. It's hard to keep up. So adding more things to learn or more things into our um, lesson plans and learning, so for some teachers that's overwhelming and they do not want to do that. The fourth bullet point was trying to get teachers to try new technology. A lot of teachers are scared of new technology, and I think I mentioned this in a previous blog, but one of my aha moments was teachers are just scared and they think they're going to break something and they don't want to try new technology. Sometimes when they try it, they just they're just nervous about it, and it's nervous about something trying something new. And that goes to my next bullet point that Jennifer discussed, and that was getting around technology fails. Sometimes technology just fails. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I see that on a day-to-day basis with my own personal technology. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And sometimes teachers, when they see that it fails, they'll just say, I don't want to try it then. It's not going to work. Well, they have to understand that that's not all the time. That's not a normal thing. But sometimes technology just fails. So they have to understand that and realize, hey, if it does fail, I can try something new or try new technology or try it again in a different way. The last thing is teachers are nervous or scared of technology, and that kind of goes back to they don't want to add anything else to their workload. They're scared or nervous that something isn't going to work. So there are a lot of challenges with working with technology in the elementary school. One that I would say that we discussed afterwards was that sometimes it's hard to implement technology with younger students. Younger students, sometimes it's harder for them to pick up, so it's more time consuming, takes a little bit more effort in order to teach them technology. For example, I'm teaching my class how to use Voki and a blog post. And for me, I could teach older students a little quicker, but for them, I literally have to go through the steps over and over and over, and then I have to walk several students through that again. So these are just some of the challenges that Jennifer faces in a day-to-day operations of her job. Now, what I asked her is, well, being that we have challenges, how can we help teachers, or how can you help teachers to use technology and integrate it with learning? And these are some of the bullet points that she said. It starts with the students. What she does is she wants to get them to use technology. And she does this by coming into the classroom and giving technology lessons by modeling and getting the students comfortable with understanding and using technology. So whether it's technology clickers, whether it's teaching younger students how to log into a certain website on the computer and type, whatever the case may be, she wants to get students comfortable with technology, and she really thinks it starts with the students, which I thought was an interesting concept. Second bullet point was get students excited about learning with technology, and I'll piggyback on that, and I want to say that I showed students a Voki, and they were really excited, and their mouths almost dropped open when I showed them the Voki and how you can type in and have it to actually speak to you. They were really hooked. So getting students excited about learning with technology is a big role, and I think it goes back to teaching them how to use technology. Third bullet point she said was model how to use hardware and software first, then slowly get them to be more independent. So get them comfortable with the technology, get them to use the technology, so next time they aren't overwhelmed or nervous about using it, they can come in and just do it by themselves. I thought that was a great point. Fourth one is get teachers excited about using technology. Get them excited about using collaborative tools like we use with our GoGoNet portal, where we can share bookmarks and lesson plans and really communicate much more effectively. And also teaching them different fun websites or methods to help deliver that content to students. If a teacher is excited about technology, they'll use it. If they're not, they won't. The next bullet point that she discussed in ways to help teachers use technology and integrate in learning is for teachers that are nervous, model how to use technology and the hardware and the software, get them comfortable and more independent. And this is the same situation where we can model for those students how to use technology. We need to do the same thing for those teachers. Get them in collaborative planning or planning time. Get them comfortable with using the technology and how they would use it. And that goes to the next bullet point she talked about. And we both had this conversation in we need to show practical ways in using technologies that help teachers teach. Teachers want to know, they don't want to use technology just because. They want real life lessons and ways that we can use technology. I want to use technology in real life ways that I can use it on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to just fluff it. I don't want to just have technology to use it. I want it to be real authentic teaching and learning. And that goes to my last bullet point that we discussed, and that was let them know that technology is a tool to help them. Let them know that it's just another tool in their tool bag, whether it might be a Voki for a hook, whether it might be a blog post to help communicate and comprehension of literature, whether it might even simply be a brain pop video to help them understand the concept a little better. But let teachers know that technology is there to really as a tool to help them teach and for students to learn. So these were all the things that we discussed, and it's a little bit easier said than done, but with time and with students like me and you and the LSTCs out there like Jennifer Mims, hopefully we can help those teachers that are struggling using technology to overcome those fears and utilize it. So my reflections of the interview, well, I could easily see my role in the position of the LST just because I love technology. I really love researching technology. I really love researching ways that educators and teachers and schools can use technology within the classroom, within the offices, within the school environment. The second bullet point I said on my reflection of the interview is I understand the roles of teachers and difficult challenges presented to teachers on a day-to-day basis. I'm on the front lines. I'm there. I see it. I understand some of the apprehensions that teachers have, but I understand the benefits to technology, and I'm willing to help, and I'm helpful to the teachers that need that help. The third bullet point is technology is something that can help all teachers and educators. I truly believe that. We need to embrace it to help deliver information to our students. Students are going to have to learn technology. We're in a changing world. Technology is the future. And teaching students with technology, teaching them how to utilize technology, teaching them how to fuse technology as a teacher to deliver that content will help students more comfortable with technology and help them understand technology better and help them use it more effectively in the future. The last thought I had was LSTs need to model and show practical ways to fuse technology and educations. This will help ease the angst of educators. LSTCs need to give practical ways of how to use technologies within the classroom and outside of the classroom, collaborative planning, other ways. How can technology help us save time, energy, and be more efficient in delivering our content, helping our students learn more? That's really the ultimate end goal in helping teachers and education and technology come together. That I believe. Anyway, I really enjoyed interviewing Jennifer. I thought she had some great insight. And I hope some of these points and challenges and reflections, as well as some of the things we're trying to overcome, really help open our mind and answer some of the deeper questions. And how can we help teachers and educators fuse that bridge between education and technology? Thank you very much.